What if I told you that everything you've ever dreamed of, every deep yearning within you, is already within your grasp? What if I told you there's a hidden vibration, a unique frequency woven into the very fabric of existence that can effortlessly connect you to divine energy? Throughout the ages, wise sages, mystics, and spiritual masters have shared one essential truth. The universe does not respond to our words, but to the energy we emit, the vibrations we create. Among all the frequencies in the universe, there exists one that is considered the purest and most profound, the one that aligns us with the consciousness of God itself. This frequency is 963 Hz, often called the frequency of God, or the vibration of universal consciousness. But what exactly does this mean? How can we tap into this powerful frequency to transform our lives, align our spirits, and unlock the blessings the universe has in store for us? In this exploration, we'll dive deeper into the significance of 963 Hz, uncover the deep connection it has to the realms of spirituality, and learn how to harmonize with this energy to manifest abundance, inner peace, and a deeper connection to the divine. Our journey will first take us through time, exploring how ancient cultures understood the power of sound and its effect on consciousness. Then, we'll examine the modern science behind frequencies, how they shape our thoughts, emotions, and very essence. Finally, we will uncover practical ways to align ourselves with the divine frequency of 963 Hz, using it as a tool to manifest a life filled with purpose, clarity, and spiritual fulfillment. If you've ever sensed that the universe is trying to communicate with you, if you've experienced moments of profound connection to something beyond yourself, this message is for you. The universe speaks to us in a language of vibration, and today, we're about to reveal how you can tune in to the most powerful vibration of them all. Are you ready to awaken to a reality that's filled with limitless possibility? Throughout history, humanity has known that sound isn't just a simple wave traveling through the air. It's the key to unlocking the deepest mysteries of the cosmos. Across ancient civilizations, we see time and again how sound and frequency were used as powerful tools to heal, expand consciousness, and connect with the divine. Consider the ancient Egyptians, who believed that the entire universe was birthed from a primordial vibration. In their sacred temples, priests used specific chants and sacred intonations to elevate their consciousness, allowing them to enter realms where they could communicate directly with divine forces. The Great Pyramid of Giza itself was constructed with such precise acoustic engineering that it could amplify certain frequencies, creating an environment where the spiritual and material worlds converged. In India, the Vedic tradition has long used mantras to alter the consciousness, including the sound of Om, which is said to be the primordial vibration that birthed the universe. Remarkably, the frequency of OM aligns closely with 963 Hz, establishing a direct link to the universal consciousness. Similarly, indigenous cultures across the Americas utilized drumming and shamanic chants to enter altered states, allowing them to transcend ordinary consciousness and connect with the natural spirits of the world. For these ancient cultures, vibration was seen as the pathway to harmonize with the universe, to align with the divine, and to receive wisdom from the higher realms. But why does this matter to us in today's world? Modern science is beginning to catch up with the ancient wisdom, uncovering what our ancestors already knew: that sound and frequency have a direct influence on the mind, body, and spirit. Recent scientific studies have shown that specific frequencies can alter brainwave activity, induce deep meditative states, and even activate dormant parts of our DNA. Of all the frequencies discovered, none is more significant the 963 Hz, the frequency that resonates with universal consciousness. This frequency holds the power to elevate your vibration, to synchronize your energy with the divine, and to bring about transformative shifts in your life. As we embark on this journey together, you'll learn how to harmonize with this frequency, raising your vibration to one of peace, abundance, and divine connection. It's time to remember that everything you've been searching for is already within you. All that's required is to align with the vibration of the universe, and the doors to a new reality will open before you. Are you ready to step into that new frequency? Research into the ancient solfeggio scale, used in Gregorian chants and various spiritual practices, has revealed a fascinating truth. The 963 Hz frequency is the key vibration that activates the pineal gland, the organ in our brain most closely associated with our intuition and spiritual connection. When we expose ourselves to this frequency, something extraordinary happens. Our perception begins to expand, our consciousness elevates, and we start to experience a deep sense of unity with the universe. This experience can be transformative, providing a new lens through which we see ourselves and our place in the cosmos. But how can we use this powerful knowledge in our daily lives? How can we align ourselves with the divine frequency and start vibrating in tune with the energy of the universe? The answer is simpler than you might think, and it's closer than you realize. What follows could revolutionize the way you perceive your own reality. Up to this point, we've explored how ancient civilizations understood and utilized the power of sound and vibration. These cultures knew that sound could alter the mind and soul in profound ways. So, what does modern science say about this? Can a simple frequency really have the power to change our consciousness and connect us with the divine? The surprising answer is yes. Modern science has confirmed that everything in the universe is in a constant state of vibration. From the distant stars in the sky to the microscopic cells in our body, everything has its own unique frequency. Everything, without exception, is in motion and vibrating. One of the most groundbreaking discoveries in quantum physics is the realization that matter, at its most fundamental level, is just energy in motion. This perspective completely changes how we understand the world around us. In this context, one of the most fascinating phenomena explored in quantum science is the relationship between sound and matter, known as cymatics. Cymatics is the study of visible sound vibrations and their ability to form symmetrical, geometric patterns in materials like sand, water, and dust. When specific frequencies are applied to a surface with particles of these materials, they form perfectly organized mandala-like shapes. This phenomenon reveals something remarkable. Sound doesn't just influence matter, it can shape it. If sound can alter the structure of physical particles, then what kind of effects could it have on us as human beings, who are also made of vibrating particles? This brings us to the power of the 963 Hz frequency. The pineal gland, often referred to as the third eye in spiritual traditions, is a small but highly significant organ located deep in the center of the brain, between the two hemispheres. This gland plays a critical role in regulating our perceptions and connecting us to higher states of consciousness. In esoteric traditions, the pineal gland is often seen as the bridge between human consciousness and the divine, a gateway to higher dimensions of reality. Scientifically, the pineal gland is known to contain apatite crystals that have piezoelectric properties, meaning they can generate electrical impulses when exposed to certain stimuli, such as sound. This is where the 963 Hz frequency comes into play. Research has shown that specific frequencies can activate the pineal gland and trigger the release of melatonin, a hormone responsible for regulating sleep, cellular regeneration, and elevated states of consciousness. Even more surprisingly, studies suggest that the 963 Hz frequency resonates directly with the natural frequency of the pineal gland, stimulating it and awakening its hidden potential. People who have meditated with this frequency report profound experiences such as a deep sense of unity with the universe, heightened intuition, mental clarity, astral projection, lucid dreams, and even feelings of unconditional love. It's as if, by tuning into this frequency, we begin to synchronize with the universal intelligence that surrounds us, unlocking spiritual abilities that transcend our rational minds. A particularly impactful study on the influence of sound on the human body was conducted in bioenergy labs, where a group of participants was exposed to the 963 Hz frequency during daily 15-minute sessions. The results were astonishing. Researchers found a significant increase in the coherence of brainwaves, indicating a higher state of synchronization between the brain's hemispheres. This coherence suggests a deeper connection with our own inner energy and the universe as a whole, supporting the idea that specific frequencies can have a direct impact on our overall well-being. By incorporating the 963 Hz frequency into our daily lives, whether through meditation, listening to music, or using sound therapy, we can begin to activate our pineal gland, expand our consciousness, and connect with higher realms of existence. It's an invitation to explore the limitless potential within us and align ourselves with the frequencies that shape the universe itself. It has been observed that participants in studies using the 963 Hz frequency reached deep states of meditation faster than usual, comparable to the levels achieved by seasoned monks. Along with this, remarkable effects were seen on DNA, with noticeable changes in gene expression linked to enhanced cellular regeneration and a reduction in oxidative stress. These changes led to increased energy levels and a significant improvement in overall well-being. Many participants reported feeling lighter, more vital, and experiencing a deeper connection to their spiritual selves. These results affirm what spiritual traditions across the world have been saying for centuries. Sound has the incredible power to transform our reality. But even with this knowledge, the question still stands. How can we incorporate this divine frequency into our daily lives to tap into its full potential? The following reveals the true secret to accessing the highest vibrations and experiencing their transformative effects. From time immemorial, humanity has been searching for ways to connect with the divine, to elevate our consciousness beyond the limitations of the physical world. Ancient Egyptian priests, Hindu mystics, and sages in the Himalayas all understood that the universe itself is made of vibration. Every atom, every molecule is in constant motion, and it is through resonance with these cosmic vibrations that we access higher states of awareness. Among these vibrations, there is one that stands above the rest as the key to unlocking the highest forms of consciousness: the 963 Hz frequency. Think of the universe as a grand symphony. If that's the case, 963 Hz is the master note, the one that attunes our individual energy to the infinite creative source that underlies all existence. But beyond the theoretical, the question remains: how can we harness this frequency to change our lives? I'm going to share with you 4 potent techniques that will help you integrate this divine vibration into your daily routine. With consistent practice, you'll begin to notice shifts in your perception, your energy, and your connection to the higher realms of consciousness. For centuries, civilizations have recognized the profound power of sound to influence both the mind and spirit. Whether it was the Sanskrit mantras chanted by ancient yogis, the Gregorian chants echoing through the walls of monasteries, or the mystical Sufi music reverberating through the desert sands, These traditions all shared a singular purpose: to resonate in harmony with the cosmos. Today, modern science backs up what these ancient wisdom traditions knew all along. Sound has a direct and powerful impact on our brainwaves and our consciousness. When we expose ourselves to the 963 Hz frequency, something remarkable happens. Our minds become more peaceful, our intuition sharpens, and we find ourselves experiencing a deep connection to something much greater than ourselves. But how can you incorporate this frequency into your life? It's easier than you think. Start by listening to music tuned to 963 Hz for just 10 to 15 minutes each day. For the most profound experience, use headphones. You can listen while you work, meditate, or even just before you fall asleep. To amplify its effects, close your eyes and visualize a bright white light expanding within your head. Meditation isn't just about sitting in stillness. It's a gateway to altered states of consciousness, where time seems to dissolve and new dimensions of reality unfold. When you meditate with the 963 Hz frequency, something deep within you begins to awaken. Your pineal gland, often referred to as the third eye in many spiritual traditions, starts vibrating in harmony with the universe. This small gland in the center of your brain has long been associated with enhanced intuition, extrasensory perception, and spiritual awakening. As you continue your practice, you'll find that your ability to perceive higher states of consciousness deepens. To guide you through a meditation that harnesses the power of 963 Hz, follow these steps. Find a quiet space where you won't be interrupted. Sit up straight, close your eyes, and play a 963 Hz soundtrack at a low volume. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, imagine a sphere of bright white light hovering above your head. Feel that light slowly descend, filling your body with a calming, uplifting energy. Allow this light to encompass your entire being, connecting you to the source of all creation. Stay in this meditative state for 10 to 20 minutes, letting the energy flow through you. With every session, you will feel your intuition, creativity, and inner peace expanding. Over time, the more you practice this meditation, the more profound your spiritual connection will become. You'll find that your life begins to align more effortlessly with purpose, and you'll develop a deeper sense of peace and clarity that wasn't there before. Remember, this frequency is not just a sound. It's a bridge to the divine, a key to unlocking a deeper connection with yourself and the universe around you. With dedication and practice, the 963 Hz frequency can become a powerful tool in your journey of transformation. Crystals have been valued for centuries for their ability to amplify energy and protect the mind from negative influences. Many of these crystals resonate with specific frequencies, and some vibrate at 963 Hz, a frequency that aligns with the divine. These crystals become powerful tools for tuning into higher frequencies and connecting with the universal energy. The most effective crystals for elevating your frequency include amethyst, which activates the pineal gland and enhances intuition; clear quartz, which amplifies vibration and improves mental clarity; and lapis lazuli, which connects you to inner wisdom and universal consciousness. How can you use these crystals to enhance your vibration? There are several ways to incorporate them into your practice. For example, you can place a crystal on your forehead during meditation to stimulate the pineal gland. Holding the crystal in your hands while listening to sounds at 963 Hz, or carrying it with you throughout the day, can help maintain a high frequency and keep your energy aligned with the divine. In addition to crystals, sacred geometric patterns such as the flower of life and other symbols can serve as tools to help you synchronize with the universal vibration. You can use these sacred shapes in mandalas, drawings, or even wear them as jewelry to reinforce your connection with the 963 Hz frequency. These symbols carry energy that, when consciously used, can act as an amplifier for your intentions. Remember that words themselves are vibrations. Every time we speak or think, we emit a frequency that shapes our reality. This is why repeating affirmations that align with the 963 Hz energy can be so powerful. By doing so, you reprogram your mind and attune your consciousness to a higher state. Some affirmations that can activate this frequency might be, I am in tune with the frequency of divine light. My consciousness expands, and I connect with the infinite. I manifest love, wisdom, and abundance in my life. You can repeat these affirmations aloud or silently, particularly in the morning when you wake up and before you go to bed. Writing them in a journal and reflecting on them during moments of introspection can further deepen their impact. When you combine the practice of repeating these affirmations with listening to the 963 Hz frequency, the effect is amplified, creating a powerful synergy that helps transform your energy. But 963 Hz is more than just a number. It's a portal to a new way of living. As you begin to incorporate these practices into your daily routine, you will notice profound changes in your life. These include an increased sense of inner peace, mental clarity, and a deepened intuition and creativity. Your connection to your life's purpose and mission will also grow stronger. The key to unlocking these benefits is consistency. Just like a musical instrument needs regular tuning to play in harmony, your energy needs time and dedicated practice to align with the divine frequency. For centuries, ancient wisdom has taught that everything in the universe is made of vibration. Every thought, emotion, and action emits a frequency that helps shape our experience of reality. In this energetic matrix, the 963 Hz frequency stands out as a bridge to the divine, a master key to connecting with the pure essence of the universe. Now that you understand how to use this frequency in your life, one crucial question remains. Are you ready to make this vibration your natural state? It's clear that through music, meditation, crystals, affirmations, and sacred geometry, we can fine-tune our energy to align with the frequency of creation. However, true transformation doesn't come from knowledge alone. It requires consistent practice. Think of it this way. Tuning an instrument just once won't keep it in harmony. You have to adjust it repeatedly to maintain the right tone. The same goes for your energy. Each day, each thought, and each action is an opportunity to elevate your vibration and synchronize with universal consciousness. As you commit to these practices, you will start to notice signs of your frequency rising. These may include heightened mental and emotional clarity, more positive and harmonious thoughts, enhanced intuition, receiving clearer messages from within, and a stronger trust in your inner guidance. You will feel a deeper sense of peace and certainty, knowing that everything is interconnected. Synchronicities and manifestations will begin to appear as your reality aligns with your highest desires. This shift is not just a passing trend or a belief. It's about awakening an inner reality that's been dormant within you. When you elevate your vibration, the universe responds in kind. It's like tuning a radio. The clearer the signal, the purer the message you receive. By raising your frequency, you align with a higher state of being that unlocks new possibilities in your life. So today, I invite you to take action. Don't wait for the perfect moment to begin. Start right now. Choose one practice to integrate into your life and watch the transformation unfold before your eyes. If you found this information helpful, and feel that it can assist others in raising their vibration. Don't keep it to yourself. Subscribe to continue exploring the mysteries of the universe together and to discover more tools for your spiritual evolution. If this video has inspired you, please like it and share it with those who are ready to receive this frequency and transform their reality. The frequency of God is already within you. You just need to activate it.
Have you ever paused to wonder what truly happens to your soul the very moment your body is consumed by fire? This isn't just a dark curiosity, it's one of humanity's oldest, most profound fears that transcends cultures, religions, and centuries of human history. Take a moment to reflect on your own instinctive reaction to fire. Think about when you accidentally touch something hot, like a stove burner. Without even thinking, you yank your hand away before the pain fully registers. This reflex is wired into us at the deepest level because fire literally destroys living cells. Now, if your body reacts this way to heat, what happens to that part of you that isn't physical? Your spirit, your essence. Cremation became widely accepted in the 20th century, largely due to practical reasons: shrinking cemetery space, hygiene concerns, and the rising costs of traditional burials. It was a convenient fix to modern problems. But in our rush to adopt cremation, have we overlooked ancient wisdom about what really happens during the passage from life to death? What's more unsettling is how common cremation has become. In the US, it went from just 5% of deaths in 1970 to over half today. Millions choose this without fully considering potential spiritual consequences. Even more alarming are the consistent reports from mediums around the world who communicate with cremated spirits. They describe experiences filled with burning sensations, confusion, and despair, as if the transition didn't go as it should. These patterns appear again and again from sensitive individuals across different countries and backgrounds who don't know each other. One of the most detailed warnings came from Edgar Cayce, perhaps the most documented psychic of the 20th century. While others have shared similar messages, Cayce's insights were uniquely vivid. During his trance readings, he revealed what happens when a body is cremated before the soul has had the chance to fully disconnect. Far from being a calm, painless passage, Cayce described a traumatic ordeal for the soul, one that can have lasting effects well beyond physical death. What if he was right? What if many are unknowingly subjecting their souls to needless suffering? This isn't about superstition or religious doctrine. It's a serious exploration of consciousness and its relationship with the physical body. Quantum research has already shown that consciousness can exist independently from the brain. Near-death studies document people experiencing awareness during clinical death. If consciousness survives the heartbeat stopping, why wouldn't it perceive what's happening to the body it still considers home? The true mystery isn't just what Cayce saw, but what it reveals about our existence and the critical choices we make, or that are made for us, at the moment of death. In 1944, a grieving widow came to Cayce, desperate to understand what happened to her husband, who was cremated just 3 days after passing. During the trance, Cayce described something unsettling. His usually steady voice cracked with distress. He spoke of flames burning where no physical sensation should exist. A soul trapped in agony, unable to fully break free. Cayce's account was hauntingly specific. The man's soul experienced every moment of the cremation as if alive, feeling the searing heat spreading through his etheric body. Not physical pain, but a far deeper spiritual trauma, a violation of the natural death process. The soul was confused and lost throughout, denied a smooth passage to the afterlife. Instead, it endured a violent, premature separation from its body, like a vital cord abruptly severed before its time. Cayce described how the soul struggled to detach, but was held back by energetic cords of light, which normally dissolve over days after death. When cremation happens too soon, these cords burn along with the body, causing profound spiritual injury. Even more shocking, Casey said, "The suffering doesn't end when the flames die down. This energetic trauma can linger for months or years, hindering the soul's ability to move on naturally." He also explained how this trauma makes it hard for the soul to communicate with loved ones left behind. Cremated souls often become fragmented energetically, needing time to heal before reconnecting with the physical world. There are spiritual guardians, beings of light, who usually assist souls during transition, but these helpers become disturbed by the premature cremation suffering, disrupting not just one soul but the surrounding spiritual environment. During the reading, Casey noted the man's soul tried desperately to warn his family. The widow likely experienced unexplained anxiety, nightmares, or odd feelings before the cremation. When she confirmed this, the reading's accuracy was undeniable. The soul had sent all its remaining energy through dreams and intuition to warn them, but without understanding, the family proceeded with cremation anyway. The most unsettling part of Edgar Casey's vision came when he described the exact moment the flames touched the body. He said the soul emitted a scream, not audible to human ears, but one that echoed through all spiritual realms. It was a scream filled with panic and despair, so powerful that other spirits nearby could sense it, sending waves of anguish rippling across higher planes of existence. After that reading, Casey himself was never quite the same. He began actively warning people about the dangers of rushing into cremation, urging that no procedure destroying the body take place before at least 72 hours had passed. Casey explained that the soul follows a natural timeline to disconnect from the body, and interrupting this process can lead to serious spiritual consequences. Those close to him noticed that after this reading, Casey started having recurring nightmares involving fire. He'd wake with a sense of urgency, as though he had to warn someone of an impending danger. It was almost as if the vision had left a lasting energetic imprint on his own soul. The number 3 keeps showing up across ancient spiritual traditions, always tied to death, rebirth, and transformation. Jesus rose on the 3rd day. Tibetans hold a 72-hour vigil after death. The Egyptians considered this time frame critical for the soul's journey. This isn't coincidence. There's deep wisdom encoded in this temporal pattern. Those 3 days represent the soul's natural window to fully disconnect from the physical body and begin its journey on the spiritual planes. Interfering with that process causes consequences well understood by our ancestors. In the first 24 hours after death, the soul remains closely linked to the body. It often stays nearby, watching family members' reactions, trying to communicate and processing the shock of passing. Many families report sensing a presence during this time, and they're right. The soul is essentially reviewing its life like a fast-forwarded film, emotionally coming to terms with its earthly experience before fully letting go. When cremation happens during this period, it's like abruptly ending a critical therapy session. On day 2, the soul starts moving away, but still maintains strong energetic ties. It tries to say more meaningful goodbyes, often appearing in dreams or sending signs to loved ones. The soul is preparing to leave, but isn't quite ready yet. Cremating the body on day 2 forces a premature farewell, like being pushed out the door before you've finished packing. The soul simply hasn't had time to prepare for a complete separation. Day 3 marks the pivotal moment. This is when the last energetic cords between soul and body naturally dissolve. The soul is ready to move on, having completed its disconnection and integration. Cremation after this point doesn't cause spiritual harm. Before diving deeper into this ancient wisdom, it's worth noting that recognizing these natural cycles reflects a grasp of quantum principles, how the universe operates through energetic rhythms. Early participants in related studies are already reporting remarkable breakthroughs. Are you ready to explore this too? Details are in the pinned comment. Jewish tradition honors these 3 days through Shemirah, a continuous vigil by the body during which prayers are said to aid the soul's transition. Hinduism calls this time pradharma, performing rituals, chanting mantras, and making offerings, all before cremation, to ensure the soul is spiritually ready. Ancient Egyptians took this seriously enough to develop mummification, preserving the body to support the soul's well-being during transition. Even without embalming, they strictly observed the sacred 3 days. Native American shamans performed ceremonies over these days, entering altered states to guide souls safely onward, preventing trauma or obstacles. What's remarkable is that cultures across the globe, with no contact between them, developed this knowledge independently. This suggests the 3-day period reflects a universal, spiritual truth, not cultural guesswork. Modern near-death researchers have found evidence backing this timeline. Survivors of prolonged clinical death often need about 3 days to fully process their experience and reintegrate into their bodies. Honoring the 3 sacred days respects not just the deceased, but the natural order of the cosmos. It's a profound act of love, allowing the soul to transition peacefully without rush or interference. Science today is catching up with what Casey revealed decades ago. Respected doctors, neuroscientists, and quantum physicists are uncovering findings that support his views on consciousness beyond death and the spiritual impact of premature cremation. Dr. Ibn Alexander, a Harvard neurosurgeon, spent 7 days in a coma from bacterial meningitis. During that time, he experienced what he calls the most vivid spiritual journey of his life. Upon awakening, Alexander confirmed many of Casey's observations about consciousness after death. Most striking was Alexander's description of an energetic cord linking him to his physical body, just as Casey had described decades earlier. Even in a deep coma, Alexander could sense everything happening to his body. Dr. Raymond Moody, a pioneer in near-death studies, documented over 3,000 cases of people who returned from clinical death. In 89% of these accounts, patients reported maintaining some form of connection to their physical bodies during out-of-body experiences. Many individuals who have undergone medical procedures while clinically dead report intense physical discomfort. The Institute of Noetic Sciences has carried out extensive research on consciousness after death, uncovering that brain activity can continue for up to 10 minutes following cardiac arrest. Additionally, distinct energy patterns can be detected around the body for as long as 72 hours after clinical death. This timeline aligns perfectly with Edgar Casey's description of the necessary window for the soul to fully disconnect from the body. Dutch cardiologist Dr. Pim van Lommel published influential studies in The Lancet, documenting patients who were declared clinically dead but later recalled detailed experiences during that time. Some patients described sensations of pain when their bodies were handled, despite being technically dead. Researchers at the University of Southampton conducted the largest ever study on near-death experiences and confirmed that consciousness can persist for minutes, even hours, after brain activity ceases. Importantly, many subjects reported uncomfortable physical sensations during resuscitation efforts. Dr. Jeffrey Long, an oncologist specializing in near-death research, documented cases where patients described spiritual pain connected to invasive procedures performed on their bodies while clinically dead. These accounts closely mirror what Casey described regarding suffering during premature cremation. Professional mediums worldwide have started systematically gathering reports of encounters with spirits who experienced cremation. The patterns are strikingly consistent: confusion, disorientation, persistent burning sensations in the spiritual realm, and difficulties communicating with the living. James Van Praagh, a renowned medium, frequently encounters spirits bearing energetic wounds, corresponding exactly to the parts of the body most affected by fire. This suggests that the soul retains an energetic imprint of the physical trauma. Suzanne Giesemann, a former U.S. Navy officer turned medium, has documented hundreds of cases where cremated spirits report prolonged suffering after death. She notes that these souls often take significantly longer to regain energetic balance compared to those who were buried traditionally. At the Monroe Institute, a leading center for consciousness research, experiments with experienced astral travelers revealed that they could sense disturbed energy fields around cremation furnaces. These energy disruptions, accompanied by lingering anguish, reportedly persist for weeks after the procedure. Dr. Bruce Grayson, a psychiatrist at the University of Virginia and editor of the Journal of Near-Death Studies, compiled data from thousands of near-death experiences. He found that patients who endured painful physical procedures during clinical death often suffer lasting psychological effects, even after physical recovery. Recent research into human biomagnetic fields shows that the body emits detectable energy signatures up to 96 hours after death. Sensitive instruments can measure these emissions, suggesting some form of vital energy endures well beyond biological function. Japanese scientists have even captured photographs of auras surrounding recently deceased bodies, noting these energies gradually fade over 3 days and disappear entirely after 72 hours. When bodies are cremated within this window, these photographs reveal a sudden fragmentation of the aura, as if violently disrupted. Massachusetts General Hospital conducted studies on cellular memory, how cells retain information after death, and discovered cells can respond to stimuli up to 4 days post-mortem, implying some level of consciousness persists at the cellular level, far longer than previously thought. All this evidence points toward the same conclusion. Consciousness and the soul's connection to the body remains significant well after physical death, just as Edgar Cayce described. Descriptions of what souls endure during premature cremation are deeply troubling and remarkably consistent across different sources. Mediums, near-death experiencers, and even those who briefly returned from clinical death report similar sensations when asked about this experience. The first sensation is often sheer terror. Imagine awakening trapped inside a blazing furnace, unable to scream or escape. The soul, still tethered to the body by the silver cord, endures every moment of cremation fully conscious and aware. There is no spiritual numbing, no anesthesia for this kind of trauma. Mediums report that souls describe an unrelenting burning sensation, an intense heat that extends far beyond the physical cremation itself. This ethereal heat lingers within the soul's energetic structure for months or even years afterward, as though the fire permanently scars the spiritual essence. In the initial minutes, the soul is overwhelmed by confusion, unable to grasp why it feels pain when it should be dead. This confusion quickly turns to feelings of betrayal, as if loved ones intentionally caused suffering, though this is not the case. Sensitive individuals claim they can hear these spiritual screams during cremations, not audible to the physical ear, but resonating across the etheric realms. Other spirits nearby perceive these anguished cries, creating a ripple of energetic disturbance that affects the surrounding spiritual environment. Perhaps the most harrowing experience reported is forced dissolution, the soul feeling as though parts of itself are being torn away alongside the burning body. This fragmentation clashes with the soul's instinct to remain whole. Despite desperate resistance, the soul cannot prevent this tearing. Many souls describe a sensation of falling during cremation, as if being pulled down into denser, darker realms where suffering intensifies. This occurs because the energetic trauma lowers the soul's vibration, drawing it into lower spiritual planes. The experience also magnifies the perception of cremation's odors and sensations, making the ordeal even more vivid and distressing. The soul doesn't just endure the intense heat, it also perceives the smell of its own flesh burning, the crackling roar of the flames, and even the voices of the crematorium workers. It's a fully immersive, traumatic sensory experience. Spirits who have gone through cremation often describe a lingering sense of incompleteness, as if vital pieces of themselves were lost in the process. This feeling of being fragmented can block their ability to communicate clearly with the living and stall their spiritual progress. The pain isn't just physical or energetic, it's profoundly emotional. The soul experiences deep sorrow when it realizes it can't finish its natural transition. It's like being abruptly woken from a crucial dream, leaving a frustrating void that lingers indefinitely. Mediums often report seeing burn marks on the spiritual bodies of cremated souls. These marks aren't just visual, they cause ongoing pain on the etheric level. The soul must endure a lengthy process of energetic healing to shed these traumatic scars. During cremation, the soul feels intense isolation. It's utterly alone, feeling abandoned by loved ones who chose this path. This sense of abandonment cuts deep because the soul still carries all the emotions and memories from its earthly life. The spiritual heat the soul experiences is said to be far more intense than any physical flame, an energy that scorches the very essence of the person, causing damage that can take decades to heal. Some spirits report still sensing this residual heat years after the cremation. One of the most unsettling experiences is a warped sense of time. Those 90 minutes inside the furnace feel like hours or even days. Every second stretches out, magnifying the agony. Time becomes an enemy, relentlessly prolonging the suffering. Cremated souls also describe feeling spiritually suffocated, as though they can't properly breathe on the etheric plane. This happens because the trauma disrupts their energy centers, making it hard to absorb vital energy from higher realms. The soul is painfully aware of its body being consumed by fire, creating a vivid, traumatic memory that lingers long after physical death. Many souls also feel an urgent need to warn the living about what's happening. They pour all their remaining energy into trying to communicate, but often fail to make their message clear, fueling frustration and despair. Now that we recognize the spiritual risks of premature cremation, the big question is, how can we protect our souls and those of our loved ones during this critical transition? There are practical, respectful alternatives that honor both modern realities and ancient wisdom about the dying process. The simplest step is to honor the natural timeline for the soul's disconnection. If cremation is chosen, wait at least 72 hours after death before proceeding. This gives the soul time to complete its natural separation, preventing traumatic forced disconnection. During these 72 hours, certain practices can help the soul's transition. Keep the environment calm and peaceful. Avoid arguments or negative energy near the deceased. The soul remains sensitive to emotional vibrations and can be disturbed by conflict. Playing soft, uplifting music can help. Spiritual traditions recognize that certain frequencies support the soul's release. Classical music, mantras, or compositions designed for spiritual transition can all facilitate this process. Light white candles around the body, the gentle flicker creates a protective energy field, helping the soul maintain its integrity. Avoid harsh artificial lighting, which can interfere with delicate energetic shifts. Speak to the soul, explaining what's happening and reassuring it that it's okay to move on. Many souls linger because they feel responsible for loved ones left behind. Giving them emotional permission to let go is crucial. Certain crystals like amethyst, clear quartz, and selenite can assist. They create energetic fields that support the soul's ascent to higher dimensions. Place these stones around the body or hold them during meditation focused on the deceased. If possible, invite an experienced medium or sensitive to check if the soul has fully detached before cremation. Skilled mediums can sense when the silver cord has dissolved, ensuring the procedure is timed safely. For those who prefer to avoid cremation altogether, traditional burial remains the gentlest spiritual option. The natural decay process lets the soul disconnect gradually without trauma. The earth itself offers a protective field for peaceful transition. Modern green burials also honor these spiritual principles. By placing the body directly in the soil without chemical embalming, decomposition happens naturally and energetically harmoniously. This blends practical needs with ancient respect. For families who've already chosen immediate cremation, spiritual healing rituals can help. Forgiveness ceremonies, meditations sending healing energy to the soul, and protective prayers may reduce the spiritual harm caused by premature cremation. Some funeral homes now offer spiritual transition services that include mandatory waiting periods, calming environments, and even spiritual counselors present during the process. Consider creating a spiritual will along with your legal one. Specify your preferences for cremation timing, rituals to support transition, and how you want your soul cared for during this crucial phase. Share these wishes with your family ahead of time. Many traumatic decisions happen during grief because families weren't prepared. Open conversations about spiritual preferences can prevent rushed, harmful choices. You might also develop a family transition plan, where everyone documents their wishes for post-death care, including timelines, rituals, and trusted spiritual guides. In cases where immediate cremation is legally mandated, it's important to explore options for exceptions, grounded in religious or spiritual beliefs. Many states and counties recognize the right to perform specific spiritual rituals, and specialized attorneys can help negotiate these accommodations. Meanwhile, cultivating your own spiritual practices during life can strengthen your soul's resilience for the transition ahead. Regular meditation, energy work, and expanding spiritual awareness build a stronger energetic framework, better equipping the soul to endure trauma during passage. Those who practice astral projection or out-of-body experiences often develop a deeper understanding of the soul-body connection, which can help ease their future transition. The deliberate suppression of knowledge about the risks of premature cremation is no accident. There's a reason why modern society has discarded thousands of years of spiritual wisdom in favor of practices that can harm souls in transition. What lies behind this shift is unsettling. Our civilization has been steered to overlook essential spiritual needs. The 20th century brought a dramatic overhaul in how we handle death. Ancient traditions were rapidly replaced by efficient, industrialized methods. But this transformation wasn't organic. It was carefully engineered by interests that profit from a spiritually uninformed population. The funeral industry has ballooned into a multi-billion-dollar business focused more on profit than spiritual well-being. Cremations are quicker, cheaper, and yield higher margins than traditional burials. Speeding up the death process means serving more clients. Simple math with devastating spiritual fallout. Medical institutions adopted brain death as the official marker of death, dismissing mounting evidence that consciousness survives brain inactivity. This convenient definition allows rapid organ harvesting and body processing, ignoring the soul's natural timeline. Our education systems have systematically cut out teachings on spirituality, conscious dying, and soul care. Entire generations grow up unaware of how their end-of-life choices affect their spiritual journey. This orchestrated ignorance ensures decisions are made based solely on convenience. Scientific research on post-death consciousness, out-of-body experiences and soul survival struggles for funding and faces ridicule from the mainstream scientific community. Researchers who pursue these topics risk their reputations. Media outlets avoid serious coverage of death's spiritual aspects, framing them as mere beliefs or superstition instead of legitimate knowledge. This controlled narrative keeps the public in the dark about alternatives to conventional funeral customs. Institutional religions also play a role. Many modern denominations have abandoned traditional teachings on after-death care, favoring simplified doctrines that don't challenge commercial practices. Religious leaders often seem unaware of their own ancestral wisdom. Laws have been changed to speed up death procedures and shorten traditional waiting periods. Public health rules justify rapid cremations, especially in sanitary crises, effectively criminalizing spiritual practices that honor the soul's natural transition. Beneath this surface lies a darker agenda. Entities that feed on negative emotional energy benefit when souls suffer trauma during transition. Premature cremations create industrial-scale spiritual suffering farms that generate low vibration energy. Secret societies and occult groups have long understood these dynamics. They protect their own souls with specific protocols while promoting harmful practices for the masses. The marginalization of Edgar Cayce and other seers stems from their threat to these control systems. When people grasp the soul's true nature and transition processes, they become spiritually empowered and less easily manipulated. The pharmaceutical industry also profits from this ignorance. Spiritual trauma can trigger depression, anxiety, and other disorders, fueling long-term medication use, a profitable cycle of problem, reaction, and solution. Suppressing this knowledge keeps people disconnected from their innate spiritual power. Souls harmed by improper transitions often return in future lives with energetic blockages, limiting their growth and awakening potential. This creates a population more easily controlled and less capable of higher awareness. Though modern tech could spread this knowledge widely, social media algorithms suppress authentic spiritual content. Posts about spiritual growth, communicating with the deceased, and conscious death practices get minimal reach compared to superficial entertainment. The good news? This suppression is cracking. More people are awakening and sharing truths long hidden. The internet, despite its flaws, still lets vital information reach those ready to receive it. You now hold knowledge that can literally save your soul and those you love. This knowledge carries responsibility. You can choose to ignore it and follow social norms, or you can make conscious decisions, honoring the soul's true nature. The choice is yours. But remember, once you know the truth, you can no longer claim ignorance. Your decisions about post-death care for yourself and others are now informed by real understanding of the spiritual consequences. Share this knowledge with loved ones. Open conversations about conscious dying and spiritual care may feel uncomfortable, but are absolutely necessary. Every person awakening to these truths contributes to humanity's collective shift toward more conscious, compassionate practices. Power is returning to where it belongs, in the hands of aware individuals who understand their spiritual nature and make wise decisions based on truth, not profit or pressure. Use this power wisely. Have you ever wondered what actually happens when you sleepwalk? Who or what guides your steps at night when your conscious mind fades away like mist under the moon? Sleepwalking has always been a mysterious phenomenon. Science calls it a sleep disorder. Psychology sees it as an unconscious echo showing up in the body. But some of the oldest spiritual traditions view sleepwalking as something much deeper, a crack between worlds, a crossing point where energy and matter aren't fully connected. Because when your body moves without your waking soul's control, it's not just a physical glitch. It's a sign, a message, that something inside you is trying to come out but can't find the right way. In this video, we'll open a door that's rarely talked about. We'll look at sleepwalking not as a disorder, but as a sign of unbalanced energetic sensitivity. A place where soul, mind, and body get out of sync, letting hidden parts of you show up without control. I'll talk about the energetic body, ancient sages who read night behavior as a map of the soul, and how certain memories, even from past lives, can trigger movement while you sleep. We'll find out why sleepwalkers often have a strong connection to the unseen world, but also struggle to fully live that energy in their everyday lives. This video isn't about giving you a cold, scientific explanation. It's about uncovering a forgotten truth. If you sleepwalk, maybe your soul is trying to help you wake up. And if that's confusing, maybe you're actually closer to awakening than many who think they're already awake. Get ready to see sleepwalking through the lens of metaphysics, inner transformation, and the hidden language of the spirit. This journey might be revealing and a little uncomfortable, because looking at what your body does without you also means asking, who are you really when you think you're awake? Since the beginning of time, sleep was never seen as just rest. Ancient cultures understood sleep as a sacred nightly journey. The soul takes beyond the body's limits. In that in-between world, where time doesn't follow our rules and language turns into symbols, consciousness loosens its hold on the body, and what's unspoken or unfinished makes itself known. Many ancient cultures didn't laugh at or fear sleepwalking, they respected it. It was seen as a sign that a person's vital energy hadn't fully settled into their body. For example, in ancient Egypt, they talked about the Ka, the life force, and the Ba, the traveling soul. The Ka stayed in the body, while the Ba could move through other realms during sleep. When they were out of sync, it was said the body could act without awareness, as if controlled by another world. In the shamanic traditions of North America and Siberia, sleepwalkers were seen as travelers between worlds. They were believed to be sensitive in a way that opened them up to subtle realms. Shamans often thought spirits, ancestors, or memories from the past could use sleepwalkers to express themselves through the body. Because of this, sleepwalkers were often trained in spiritual practices to learn how to consciously guide these nightly journeys. In the Vedic tradition, the subtle body has different layers: the energy body, the mind, and intuitive wisdom. When these aren't balanced, people can experience unwanted, out-of-body states. Sleepwalking was understood as a sign that life energy was moving the wrong way during sleep. That's why practices like yoga nidra exist, not just for relaxation, but as a way to move through sleep layers while staying aware. Hermetic teachings also offer insights. They say, as above, so below, as within, so without. If the body moves without conscious control, what part of you is really acting? What inner break causes this disconnect? So what modern medicine calls parasomnia, a brain system glitch, might actually be something deeper, an intense energetic sensitivity, a psychic opening, a piece of the soul that hasn't fully joined with the body. Sleepwalking, then, might not be a mistake, but an invitation to explore unseen bridges within you, and to walk not as a shadow in the dark, but as a soul fully awake. Imagine your body as a cup and your soul as the wine inside it. Now picture the cup moving, stirring, even walking, but with just a little wine inside. Sleepwalking could be described like that, a body acting without full presence. It's not an error, it's a spiritual misalignment showing itself energetically. Most people think the soul is whole and fixed, but esoteric teachings say it can fragment, spread out, or get stuck in different realms if it hasn't fully joined with the body. This isn't punishment or failure, it's part of being human. And when that integration hasn't happened, the body in deep sleep can move without the waking mind's control. Here's an important idea. Energy looks for a way out, not intention. If your inner energy is full of unresolved feelings, hidden memories, or inherited patterns, it will keep moving inside you and find a way to express itself. Even during sleep, your body, open and receptive, becomes the stage for this moving energy. That's why some people get up, walk around, repeat words, or make gestures without realizing it. It's not madness, it's unfinished energy acting on its own. This brings us to another key point: the disconnect between different layers of your being. According to many traditions, from Chinese medicine to Western mysticism, the human isn't just a physical body. We have emotional, mental, energetic, and spiritual layers. When these are in harmony, they overlap like perfectly aligned circles vibrating together. But trauma, stress, anxiety, emotional shock, or unintegrated spiritual experiences can throw one layer off, creating distortion. The body keeps functioning, but consciousness isn't fully grounded. This is where sleepwalking takes on a deeper, almost mystical meaning. It's a sign that your awareness isn't completely present. Something inside you, whether it's a part of your soul, an emotional weight, or an unprocessed pattern, is out of sync. When you sleep, that gap gets bigger, letting the unconscious take over for a while. Lots of kids sleepwalk because their souls are still settling into their bodies. Some shamanic traditions say kids remember too much and their bodies are still open to other worlds. In adults, sleepwalking often shows up during spiritual struggles or times of emotional disconnect. The body is reacting to what the mind can't put into words. But here's a powerful insight. Sleepwalking isn't always a glitch or failure. Sometimes it's a wiser part of you trying to get noticed, like your soul saying, "Hey, I'm not fully here yet." Seeing sleepwalking this way changes everything. It's not just a strange thing, it's a call for healing and integration. It's not about shutting it down, but about paying attention, decoding it, and bringing it in. Now that we get sleepwalking can mean a mismatch between your subtle energy and your physical body, we have to ask, what's really moving when your consciousness is gone? Esoteric traditions say the body isn't just flesh and bone. It's like a vibrational instrument, a psychic antenna picking up invisible energies. When you sleep, this antenna keeps working, but without your conscious mind filtering things out. So energies from your personal unconscious, the collective, or the environment can come through. Here's something interesting. Some people, while sleepwalking, repeat gestures or words they've never consciously experienced. Some go to the same places every night, relive past moments, or express feelings they've pushed down through involuntary movements. What if the body is replaying trapped energy, an untold story trying to come out through the only route it knows, the sleeping body? In some African cultures, sleepwalking is seen as a kind of passive trance, an accidental opening where spirits, friendly or not, can communicate. That's why some shamans practice protection rituals before bed. Not out of fear, but because they know an unanchored body can become a drum anyone can beat. Two main paths come up here. First, emotional trauma. people with unresolved, impactful experiences might partially withdraw their soul from their body. The soul doesn't leave completely, but it's not fully present either, creating a space where hidden parts of the psyche can surface during sleep. The second path is psychic sensitivity. Some people are born with a heightened awareness, a thin line between worlds. Often called hypersensitive or empaths, they naturally sense energies, but if they don't consciously manage this, it can show up as sleepwalking or other altered states. It's like having a radio picking up every signal, but no way to tune into just one. Here's the big paradox. Sleepwalking can be a gift disguised as a problem, an opportunity to recognize your openness, your connection to unseen realms, your ability to channel. But without awareness, that gift turns chaotic. Sensitivity alone isn't enough. You have to own your energy. The key isn't suppression, but learning to guide your energy. Integrate what's unresolved, close unnecessary psychic doors, and stay present even while resting. When the soul is fully in the body sleeps peacefully. If things are out of sync, the body moves like it's caught in invisible winds. Who breathes these winds? Your past, the collective unconscious, your higher self. Maybe it's time to listen respectfully instead of fearing them. After all, not everything that happens at night is dark. Sometimes it's the soul coming home. If you've ever felt your body move without you, if something stirs at night when you're absent, you know how unsettling sleepwalking can be. But you're not broken or lost. You're open, maybe more than the modern world taught you to be. So here's my first tip. Not medical, not technical, but spiritual. Stop fighting your sensitivity. What you call sleepwalking might be your soul's intelligence trying to express itself. When you resist it, the energy grows heavier. When you accept it, you start to bring it in. 1. Make your rest sacred. Before bed, create a peaceful space. How you enter sleep is how your soul travels through it. Dim the lights. Disconnect from overwhelming things, news, screens, conflicts. Light a candle. Keep a glass of water by your bed. Water absorbs and transforms stray energy. You can place crystals like amethyst or selenite under your pillow to protect your energy field. 2. Invite your soul into your body. This might sound odd, but it works. Place your hands on your chest and say out loud or silently, I am the body that holds my soul. I am fully present here and now. Do this before sleeping. It's not just a nice phrase, it's a vibrational anchor. Your soul responds to your intention, not just your words. 3. Care for your energy during the day. Many sleepwalkers act like night and day are separate, but what you don't handle during the day shows up at night. Ground yourself, walk barefoot, hug trees, picture roots growing from your feet into the earth. Meditate and take deep breaths several times a day. Your body needs to know you're present. 4. Write down what you don't remember. Keep a journal of your dreams and also the blanks. Even if you recall nothing, jot down notes like, I woke up somewhere else. I don't know what I did. I feel off. Writing connects your unconscious to your conscious mind and over time helps you understand what's happening. 5. Be open to energetic support if you need it. Sometimes sleepwalking is connected to outside influences or very old memories. Find a trusted energy healer, shaman, or someone who works with clearing energy fields or past life regressions. Not out of fear, but from the desire to reclaim your personal power. Because in the end, sleepwalking isn't a punishment. It's a loving signal that a part of you hasn't fully come home yet. The more you face it without judgment, the sooner that part returns, and your body can finally rest whole. Now, sleepwalking isn't just a random medical oddity. It's an ancient whisper passing through the walls of your unconscious, an echo of a deeper truth many are afraid to see. Your body and soul aren't always perfectly in sync, and when that connection falters, signs show up, sometimes subtle, sometimes unusual, but always meaningful. The modern world tries to silence what it doesn't understand. It labels sensitivity as weakness, altered states as disorders, and spiritual experiences as glitches. But you're here because you know there's something more. That behind every strange experience, there's a hidden truth, and the invisible isn't less real, just more subtle. You've moved through the night without knowing why. You've woken up in strange places. You felt something stirring when you weren't present, and maybe you've been scared, confused, or just accepted it as your reality. But here's the invitation. Stop seeing it as a problem and start seeing it as a gateway. Sleepwalking may be a deep call from your soul to come back to yourself, not just physically, but with all your parts, your unexpressed feelings, your unhealed wounds, your light still waiting to shine. You don't need to erase it, you need to listen. What part of you moves through the night without your permission? What side of your consciousness still waits to be seen? These questions aren't looking for quick answers. They want to awaken your inner awareness and, from there, begin a sacred process, the art of reintegration. And if you've read this far, it's no accident. Something in you is ready for that healing. Something inside no longer wants to move blindly. It no longer wants to live half asleep or stay asleep even when it thinks it's awake. If this message speaks to you, I invite you to explore these paths of self-discovery further. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and share this video with anyone you feel might need this perspective, because there are many out there walking through the night without knowing why. Maybe you can be the light that guides them home. And remember, when you bring your soul fully into your body, rest becomes healing, sleep becomes wisdom, and darkness turns into a bridge to your own light.